Let's see. I gotta roll it here. There we go. All right. So that doesn't happen, which is good. All right. Yeah, it's just gonna bring its fist down. One on Pietro and one on Davian. So here's the Pietro fist, and here's the Davian fist. All right, Pietro, you were reckless, so 24 for 11.
Yep.
Davian, 16 does not get through your defenses.
Whew.
All right. Pietro, you're up.
Well, if it worked once before, I'll do it again. He'll bare his teeth at the flesh golem and will try to take it down with another reckless flurry of scimitar blows.
All right, fair enough.
17 for 8.
Definitely hits.
16 for 11. Does a 16
Also hits.
hit? And third strike. Oh!
All right, that is critical because you're going reckless. Let's see. All right. Maximum damage, and let's see. You and the creature have to make opposed strength checks.
It is hex on strength.
Oh, all right. So it has a 19 on its strength check.
So just roll straight strength?
Straight strength. Yep.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. You go to slash with that last attack. It raises its hand to grab the scimitar. You slash into the hand, and the hand kind of starts crushing the scimitar blade. You have your opposed strength check, and you keep slicing, and you slice through the hand and down the wrist, splitting the hand and wrist into two floppy pieces of flesh. Letting out howls of pain, the creature begins to beat its shredded arm against the ground and the wall over and over again until it dies. Well done.
Wow.
I could do that.
All right. In that case, I will take you guys out of combat. Garuda, have you joined us?
I'm here.
All right. So let me know when you're ready to take over. I'll stop my stream and
Oh yeah, it's
just
up and everything.
yeah.
I'm all set up.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Just gonna be like, well, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, and that's nobody's fault.
I'm gonna move up and try and like investigate the sarcophagus, see if there's like anything else in the area now that the trap's been triggered.
I'm not gonna touch anything.
All right. Give me that investigation check.
I would like to aid Afra because I too am very curious
Sure.
about loots.
Oh, good
Okay.
job. Thanks for doing that.
All right. With your assistance, you guys determine that the sarcophagus was tied into the skulls, the secret door, the plinth that it was on. Basically, it was a defense mechanism set to animate and attack any intruders. As far as like items and such go, you could try and harvest something useful from the creature. It would be an Arcana check to know for sure if there would be anything worth taking.
I'm uninterested.
Can I
Okay.
roll that Arcana check from the grave?
No, sorry.
From that one time I told him about flesh golem.
No, there's
this-
nothing of interest here.
This head is still intact, and it does look a lot like her head. I mean, maybe this was the fate of Lady Daggerford.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna take her head out with us when we need to go and like try and deal with the church to the
might
Jenna
be
res.
perceived that we killed the real Lady Daggerford.
Okay, well, what are you going to do about this head?
leave it attached to the golem for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hope
by
that
the
it
by,
doesn't
did we
decay.
get a mirror? Did we pull that down?
No, the mirror was affixed to the wall. You tried to take it off the
Yeah.
wall, but it would not come off.
Okay. All right. I didn't remember. Okay. Shall we leave? I suppose.
Yes, let's
Yeah.
go save Jenna.
Okay. So I guess we'll head up.
All right. I could just hero stack you guys at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you intended to go back to the prison area and deal with whatever was there.
We'll need to come. Do we want to? We need to come back for that.
Okay.
Can we come back for that?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Is your intention to sneak out and then sneak back in?
Well, I thought we were gonna go to the paladin people and be like, hey, we fixed your succubus problem that you didn't know you had, and also, can you bring our friend back? And then I thought we'd come back?
Yeah, come back with them to show them, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do we have proof
Okay.
that she was
Well,
the
we
same?
have this entire complex underneath. We have the papers from the bearded devil that was doing administrative work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a flesh
Oh.
golem with presumably the real head of the real Lady Daggerford on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa. All right, if that is the case, I will take you back to the Daggerford map, assuming that you went back out through the sewers, or do you go straight up into the house and tell everybody in the house, yo, it's over, you dead? Like, how do you want to proceed?
I think we should go out through the sewers and then come
Wait.
in with the paladins
If
through
we
the
get
house.
back to the study, if we can get back to the study, one of those paintings moves aside, and there's an exit to the outside by the. Is there a graveyard? Something to the wall.
A family tomb. Yeah. Okay.
Do we want to exit that way, or do we feel that it's going to cause more problems?
We don't know what she's got at that tomb. Like,
All right.
if it's a family tomb, they may just have traps just for the sake of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
There would be.
I think if
Okay.
we exit through the sewers, we can report to the
That's
paladins
absurd.
and then let them know that there may still be, like, shape-changed demons and stuff in the palace. Like, and then we can basically march them up to the palace and lead them to the compound below.
I suppose so, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the best thing.
Do you think we could get a long rest in first?
You can kind of push it.
Yeah, I think
I
the
mean,
best we can go
okay.
for is a short rest.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
I mean, I'm right there with
Let's
you,
just go.
but time
Let's
is of
just
the
go.
essence.
Let's see. Okay. So you guys travel through the sewers. There is nothing particularly of interest there. Well, technically, you'd still need to get past the staff in the house. So, yeah, I checked for the sewers, but I didn't check for the house. So let's see. I feel like you're going through a busy kitchen. There would have to be sort of, you'd have to somehow explain to them what the hell is going on. All right. So this is a huge map again. So if it doesn't load or it loads slow or any of that kind of stuff, just refresh, try again. All right. So you guys are right about here. And the exit is right about there. Can you guys see or no?
I cannot get out of this room.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. Yep. the dynamic lighting for this particular room has been an absolute treat. There we go. All right, so you move the panel aside and reveal the basement hallway. There's the lounge up ahead. There's a passage to the right that leads to a stairwell, and there is the passage that leads down and towards the kitchen. You do hear the sounds of kitchen staff continuing to work, because their work is never done.
Okay.
There are doors along the north wall here. One of them is open, revealing a pantry.
So previously when we came through, the cooks all appeared to be like normal humans, yes?
Yeah, they seem to be normal people.
Okay. So kind of what I'm gonna do is just kind of walk up and be like, "Hey,"
Okay.
kind of beat up.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
limping
yeah,
a
like
little bit.
yeah, covered in the gore of multiple battles down in the wet limestone caverns. You definitely don't look like a short yet sexy eccentric who was told to come in the back door for a hot orgy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all sort of zoot hello. What is this kind of deal? As you walk into the kitchen, they grab cleavers, knives, pans, rolling pins, and prepare to defend themselves against who are obviously bandits who managed to bamboozle their way in.
Yeah, I'm
They
just
see
gonna...
the dead woman that the half orc is carrying, and one of them lets out a weak scream as they clutch their cleaver even harder.
I'm gonna, if there's like a handy stool, I'm just gonna like collapse onto a stool and be like, "Hey,
sleep.
hey, calm down, calm down. You're fine. We're not gonna hurt you." Turns out you had a bit of a succubus problem. Uh, we took care of that, so you're welcome. You got any snacks?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion skill check, please. Okay. They don't know what to do, honestly. They're sort of shell-shocked by all this. More so, they don't know what a succubus is, per se. And they're just sort of like, the lead chef is just like, so wait, what? Why are you... What? But that woman, is she dead?
I mean,
No,
for now.
she is resting. She's very, very tired.
Why are you all covered in blood?
I mean, it's not easy fighting demons, you know.
Demons?
Yeah, your house was full of them.
Is she gonna insight her, Crash, to see if she's telling the truth, or...
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, Jenna is only mostly dead.
You get the feeling that this lady is legitimately confused and frightened of you guys and the situation. She says, if you are not at fault and you have done something good for us, then you would be fine with me summoning the guards.
Well, depends on which guards you mean. So, like, interior household guards, yeah, they're probably demons.
If it is
That...
the demons, then we will call for the paladins of Lathander.
That's where we're going.
Yeah, so, I mean,
You are
guys...
going into a passageway that you left the door open for, and none of us could figure out how to close it.
Guys, why don't... I mean,
And there's
go
a
pick that
terrible smell. This smell has been coming up and just ruining my kitchen.
We could let
This is not
them go.
sanitary. She kicks over a stool.
Hey, that's okay. And I'm just gonna be like, guys, we could let them go get the paladins, and we could just wait here where there's snacks. They're fine.
Do not trust us! And she puts a hand to her sternum. We are the ones who do not trust you!
I'm gonna say, look, they're fine.
They got the patience.
They're fine. Come on, let's have them go get the paladins. It'll make them feel better, and let's just hang out and snack.
I feel like I'd
see,
rather bring Jenna to the temple so we can use
You
Jenna
see this
as
one
directed.
begins fleeing out the northern door. Does anybody try to stop her?
Just checking my inventory to see if I have a regular dagger to throw into her back.
Don't do that. Come on.
Wow, I totally did not build this character as a full inventoried character when I built him. I have all of my battle gear and apparently nothing else, including clothing. I
Yeah.
should probably manage this inventory better. Davian has been...
Everything immediately updates, and Davian is now wearing sexy armor, the likes of which we will form a social justice campaign against because it is demeaning to crabmen everywhere. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
Is it
Or is it
against the
empowering? Yeah, that's the tricky
Yeah.
part. Do you feel exploited or empowered, Davian?
I feel exposed, Crash. I feel
Okay.
exposed. I feel... I mean, this... I'm going to be honest. Alvis would have reveled in this armor. Not so much Davian.
The cook's morale is definitely crumbling, and seeing that one has escaped, the others begin to flee towards the door to the north.
Maybe we should grab the prisoner for proof.
I'm
just gonna
gonna
say,
yell at them. Just go get the paladins. We'll be fine.
Okay.
leave this room and you will be killed by the palace guard.
Okay.
Wait, what?
As far as we know, the entire palace guard could be replaced by demons and stuff, or
Well,
under sway of
no.
the succubus.
I get that. That's
They
why
were
I'm
going to
telling
go
them to go to
directly
the
to the
paladins.
paladins.
Yeah.
Right. So when
they
when
got to
the,
go upstairs to get out of the house. Yeah.
So when
Well,
the
I mean, they can-
cooks who never leave the kitchen try and leave through the palace gate and are asked why, they're
Why
not
do they
getting
never
outside.
leave the kitchen? Do they not have lives? Do they sleep here?
No,
They leave
Pal-
the
but they
kitchen
would be leaving by
occasionally.
they would be leaving by the servants' door, not through the front door.
I trust that the cooks are not stupid. I mean,
The cooks
I might be proved
appreciate
wrong.
Really?
your confidence. They
As someone who's
appreciate
worked in restaurants for nearly 2 decades, Afra, I appreciate that, but I will tell you this: the vast majority of my staff were not.
wonderful, and you love them because you're on stream. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right. So, having settled one way or another the situation with the cooks, you guys then proceed to the sewers, wherein there were no random encounters rolled, and you were able to continue your journey back out into the streets, covered in stink and gore and acid splashes and all sorts of like horrible substances. You guys emerge into the streets of Daggerford. Seeing adventurers exit the sewer looking terrible is nothing that people of Daggerford have not already seen a million times before. So that ain't even a thing. So some people sort of look at you and wave, but nobody's like, gasp! Adventurers exiting a sewer looking like they got the shit kicked out of them. Yeah, there's doesn't seem to be a
but
tremendous.
taken aback by Davian's appearance, though.
Oh, because now he's naked and a crab dude. We're
Come
gonna throw him a bone that maybe, just maybe, he had clothes on, even though he was super negligent with his character sheet. So
I made the sheet as a quick whip up, thinking it may have been a mid session drop in, and I clearly
it's all good.
forgot to.
It's all good. All right, so you guys exit. Yeah, you guys get looks, but nothing like crazy. They don't call for the guards and whatnot. They do see that you have an unconscious woman. She was killed with concussive force damage and having her life drained, so she really just looks like she got beaten unconscious. Like the body's not in super bad shape. Yeah, basically just looks like she got beaten unconscious. All of you though are just looking like, yeah, like it's been a rough series of encounters. What do you do now as you exit onto Water Street? The looming manor up on the hill above you. The time, if I recall, you were waiting for evening time. The sun is starting to set because you guys didn't get a long rest in down there. You just did a short rest, if that. So yeah, you did a short rest. Just double checking everything. So when you guys exit the sewers, yes, the sun would be setting off on the western horizon.
I think we want to go to 18. I believe
Okay.
that was the church.
All right. Yeah. You head to the Cathedral of Lathander, who is the Morning Lord, the God of Light, the God of the Sun, the patron of the human race. The cathedral is very clean, very very like Italian Renaissance. A lot of stained glass, a lot of beautiful statues of the Morning Lord, just looking so fine, so suave. Definitely prefers the look of a handsome male human paladin. So that is the majority of the art. There are of course scenes of him lifting up the sick and the hungry and the poor. Teaching children sword play, that sort of thing. There are paintings that probably in this age of Dritz Stewart and civil rights movement should not be on display, but because they are historical, they are still there. These depict Lathander and his servants wholesale slaughtering evil demi-humans. Just an ocean of like corpses as they just cut a gleaming swath of justice through the legions of chaos and evil. It's pretty graphic and pretty gory. Anybody with training in religion, you know that Lathander, maybe in the past, has actually gotten his hand slapped a few times by the other gods of Faerun for his overly zealous and racial crusades that he tends to start. So that's awkward. Um, a gleaming and beautiful Palabro approaches and sees you and sees your measure, and with their great wisdom, because unlike most 5th edition paladins, this one apparently did not dump their wisdom stat, says, "Adventurers, and by the look of it, you're in a lot of trouble. What can we, the servants of Lathander, do for you?"
Well,
And he begins to hand you a brochure with a list of donation prices of their services. I'm not making this up. Lathander is very commerce-centric deity.
so I'll start by saying, well, first, you can thank us because we just did y'all a big favor.
Oh, it's like that. All right. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. So
What
were
would the
you?
Sword Coast be without brave adventurers like you?
Yeah. Were you aware?
Since you're active duty, we'll definitely give you a discount on any sorts of clerical services you need.
Yeah. I was kind of expecting some stuff for free, cause we just were you aware that you were being ruled by a succubus? Cause that seems like not really your you know, wheelhouse.
I
Okay.
think you need to explain in a little more detail after.
Yeah, like trying to keep up with your conversation. The Palabro is like, let's unpack these things one at a time.
Can you
First,
hail my friend?
your friend, she's quite striking, but she also looks quite dead.
That is why we need assistance. She fell when we were trying to kill the succubus that has assumed the identity of Lady Daggerford.
Okay, so that's the next thing that we need to unpack. Um, You
I'm
seem
gonna
to
hip
think
check Pietro out of the way and be like, I'm the captain now.
Well, then explain the situation
I was going to.
very slowly.
this is unusual because we just had some hysterical women come by and claim that the house was full of demons. When asked what proof they had, they described a group of 4 dirty and scary-looking folk, including a birdman and a half-orc, carrying the corpse of a beautiful but battered woman. And you hear the clanking of more armored footsteps as not bros, palagals? I don't know. What's the female of palabro?
Palaces?
Palaces?
No.
Cystidins?
Sisterdins, that's good.
All right, sure. You see a great many cystidins and palabros roll up on the conversation from other parts of the temple. They have smitey weapons handy, and they look like they ain't about to put up with no bullshit.
Yeah, we were getting there.
I would like
And-
you to know, small woman, that this was never a ruse or a trap. I did intend to hear out your story before taking you into custody.
I'm gonna roll my eyes and say, stop interrupting me.
Wow, there's an exchange of like, did she just? Did that just?
Yeah.
Did
yeah,
that
it
really
did.
just happen?
Yeah, it did. So, the girls who came out are girls in the kitchen. We came out of the kitchen from the secret dungeon underneath the, thing where the succubus had her, little sex orgies and stuff. So, we were coming to get you, A, to bring our friend back to life, and B, to kind of bring y'all down there so that you can see what's going on and, clean up a bit. Because I'm pretty sure all the palace guards and whatnot are also demons, because we have these contracts here, and I'll kind of pull those out and point to the relevant bits, explaining all about all of the demons in her service.
Okay. He waits to see if you're done talking. If there's a social cue that he's allowed to speak. You know,
Yes.
the head of this order of paladins that's in the process of arresting you. Okay. So he says, that was a lot of information. We're going to tackle it one at a time. First of
Why
all,
don't you just pass Zone of Truth and be done with it? We are wasting
there
time.
there are many ways around Zone of Truth. I trust my God and my own intuition. Now listen
I'm
here.
also gonna glare at Pietro like,
I don't tell
not.
you how to orc, sir. So you don't need to tell me how to palabro.
Can you please just
Now,
pass the
listen.
plan?
You don't call them girls. Those are women. That's very disrespectful. Secondly, I listened to what those women had to say, and their fear was legitimate. That's why I didn't have you smited, killed, and bound in any order when you first arrived. I wanted to hear for myself just what you think is going on in there. Another thing, orgies. Yeah, maybe Lady Daggerford had a lot of them, and everybody knew about them. And maybe, yeah, maybe, those are the same kind of behaviors that a succubus would have. So maybe, just maybe, there's a good connection there. Third, we have a lot of missing persons reports in this city. The guards, for the most part, paid off to ignore them. We receive ample donations, and a lot of my order turns a blind eye. But me, I never gave up. I had my suspicions, and my suspicions may have been right. Third, your friend will be raised, but only after we have an opportunity to speak with her.
Okay.
4, you will be charged for it because no miracles are free. 5, that charge may be waived if everything turns out really good for us.
I love Tyler.
Um,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna
I
bat
appreciate
my
it.
lashes at him and be like, "Wow, you're so smart."
All right. We need like an actual priest in here. Go get an actual priest of Lathander. And then they wait for a bit for a priest of Lathander.
While they're
Show up.
waiting, Davian's just going to kind of put on like an exaggerated show of being impatient, and he's going to look at the Palabro and say, "This is all well and good, but what's to say that the demon servants in the palace are not currently slaughtering every non-demon when they discover that the succubus is dead? Especially all of those prisoners in the catacombs that we were hoping to lead you to, rather than go through this rigmarole."
If you cared about those prisoners, those so-called prisoners, then you would have liberated them during your escape. Now listen, and listen good. Demons and devils are tricksters. They have many kinds of servants. We're not going to have our order led into some ambush. Now, bring forth the corpse of that fine, yet mysterious and battered woman. All right, they
Future brings back down
cast
and picks up.
Speak with Dead on Jenna. Now, Jenna, you technically, you're off in like hell, doing what.
Yeah, I
I mean,
figured.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
no, yeah. Um, so yeah, you're off. I'm thinking probably in Avernus, honestly, first level of hell. Because you're the kind of person that likes leveling up, so your soul would probably show up in level 1 of hell and then have to work her way up the fucking hierarchy. Um, you receive a cell phone call, a soul phone call, basically. And you kind of have like a seizure in the tavern in Avernus, and your body just kind of goes limp. It is, of course, immediately robbed of all belongings, because it's hell. While you are thrown back into your corpse, the corpse makes a shuddering sort of gasp, and your eyes fly open wide and unseeing. You'll role play the answers to the questions, but as an animated corpse that's, like spooky and stuff. All right. So they get to ask you 5 questions. All right. The first question is, tell us how you died and who did it, if
I
anyone.
I died to a noble succubus in the basement of the hidden dungeon of the Manor of Daggerford. To a lady impersonating the Lady of Daggerford.
Oh wow! Everybody looks around like, damn, that was good. That was good. DM never gives out that much fucking information. Holy shit! All right. All right. Second question they ask you. There are 4 individuals here with you now. They are in possession of your corpse. A strange crab man, a mysteriously handsome half-orc, a small and angry woman, and an air-headed bird man. Are these your allies or enemies? Should we trust them?
My allies and my most trusted compatriots.
Okay, okay. Do you believe that the Lady Daggerford was in fact being impersonated by a succubus?
I have evidence of it.
Okay, they get excited. Where can we find this evidence?
In the basement of the Manor of Daggerford.
Okay, okay, yeah, they're all like, yeah, they're getting geared up. They're getting their SWAT gear on. Yeah, this is like pretty exciting. Okay. When you are brought back to this world by Lathander's great magics, do you swear to live a life of wholesome goodness, generosity, and love in the service of the Morning Lord?
I gotta read this spell real quick to make sure I don't have to be honest.
You can say anything you want.
Of course, Lathander is the greatest, the
All right,
noblest deity.
I'm gonna, as an aside, say they call her Jenna the Generous.
all right. You did have disadvantage until Afra dropped that nuggie. So go ahead and give me a deception.
Alright.
All right. Oh, they all look so happy. Another convert. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So they suit up. They suit up, and they're gonna go in there, and they're gonna go mad SWAT on this this house. So, that's good. Do you guys stand at the front lines with them, fighting off any remaining demons and devils, or do you kind of hang back and let the Palabros do their thing?
Davian
Oh,
will,
I
Jenna first?
Davian will fight.
Did they cast Raise Dead?
No, they're not doing that until after they've kind of determined like that this is still for reals. Like they're very pleased with what they heard from you, but they kind of want to go through and do that. If your party is willing to sign a legally binding contract that they'll cover the 500 gold necessary for a raised dead, they'll definitely do it with the stipulation that if evidence is found that proves to be beneficial to the church, they will waive the 500 GP fee. I really wish like the Church of Lathander wasn't like this, but they really are. So I'm trying to stay full lore here. They are business savvy.
I will roll my eyes and hand them the 500 gold.
All right. In that case, while they're getting ready to go raid the house, they will cast a Raise Dead, which I believe the duration is 1 hour to cast, or not the duration, but the casting time. Let me double check. Yeah, it takes 1 hour. 500 GP diamonds, shatters. Jenna, I have to ask. You have this new life in Avernus. You go back to your body after the Speak with Dead. You've been beaten up. You've been robbed of whatever small amount of coin you were able to scrape together in your time here. Your life is constantly in danger. Your soul is constantly in danger. It's going to be a long road ahead of you. You do receive another call on your soul phone asking if you would like to meet up with your body. Your body has, what is it, swiped right for your soul kind of thing and would like to meet up. Maybe try being alive again. But
Yeah,
it's
I'll
totally up
ex-
to you if you
I'll
accept or
ex-
decline.
I'll accept the rest.
Okay. All right. Her body, which was only, horribly internally bruised and stuff, does shudder and resuscitate and come back to life. She does have 4 stacks of resurrection sickness coming back from that,
God.
which will represent with this black skull with a number 4 on it. There we go.
Girdle, give Jenna a hug.
All right.
I'll scratch him behind the feathers where he likes it.
Okay. So, you wake up just in time to see the Palabro hit squad getting ready to go mad SWAT on the manor.
Davian's going to ask the Palabros. He's going to want to join them, and he'll use all that wonderful holy terminology that he learned when he was a paladin. And
Wait.
essentially ask them for. He's going to mention that his sword was destroyed and lost during the escape. He's going to ask if he can borrow a longsword from them and fight at their side.
Yeah. They toss you a longsword to use, a silvered longsword. All right. What
Yeah.
proceeds is just a montage of you guys and paladins just kicking in the front door, throwing holy water in people's faces. Anyone that anyone that reacts badly to having holy water thrown in their face is immediately run through with silvered longswords and then smited.
Get it in somebody's eyes, and they're just like, "Ah, my eyes!"
Yeah. Yeah, like a chubby old maid runs up and is like, "What are you doing here?" And like a young paladin throws the actual bottle at her, and then the glass like shatters in her face, and she's like, "Please." And he's like, "Demon!" And he like stabs her through the guts, and she's like, "Oh, my guts!" And then he's like, "Smut!" And she just explodes. Guts and blood go everywhere. They bring Lathander's justice to the Daggerford Manor. working their way up and down through the house, and then finally down to the basement. I will take you guys back over.
These are my kind of guys.
Yeah, they don't have time for Zone of Truth in this shit. All right.
Yeah, they just had time to, wait around for someone else to...
Jesus.
When you're crusading, okay? When you're crusading, you don't have time for this shit. Okay? I'm just gonna put it out there. You just don't have time for this shit.
So,
Did
so
they
Dave,
kill me before we went on this raid?
I mean, they don't. Nobody heals you, but they did bring you back to life. If you'd like to donate for heals, they do have a very robust menu of heals available.
PH will carry Jenna.
I can walk.
You can walk, but with like a -4 penalty to walking. So.
Yeah, that's actually
I'll,
not good because that puts my
and Jenna
athletics
will-
at
Yeah, me and
negative
Jenna
5.
will just lean on each other.
All right, fair enough.
Davian's gonna be right up front with these guys, being just as viciously crusady.
Okay. Yeah, so the house is just overrun with overzealous crusaders. A couple of people that they kill actually did turn out to be devils or demons, which just makes them even more hungry for smiting. The house is just covered in gore and brimstone and acid as they just make their way through, killing animals, plants. There was a house plant that they were suspicious of. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I just picture us bursting into a room where there's this like huge potted plant in the corner, and Davian just taps his nose and points at it, and like 3 palabros rush it.
Pretty much.
I really hope Mario's hiding, not with the Palabros, because like I'm sure they're divine sensing like every corner.
Oh yeah. This is what they've been waiting for. All right, so they get to this main room now, and they the leader of the Palabros is like, all right, so far it all checks out. The question here is, where do we go from here?
Which way were the prisoners? I'm sure I would remember something really smart.
I think they were south.
South,
They were-
correct.
Yeah,
I take it the prisoners are down below.
All right. And is this where Lady Daggerford is being held?
Oh, did you guys say that Lady Daggerford's being held here? No, she's not in
No.
She's not in the prison. We haven't found Lady Daggerford.
We
probably dead.
we fear we might have found a part of her that was used in an unholy rite. We rely on your expertise to make this determination.
Okay. All right. I think they would have probably brought a couple of priests with them too. Who, as you guys have probably learned from personal experience, are just as bloodthirsty as paladins. So, all right.
Yeah. Life clerics say they're life clerics, but really.
I don't just go around slaying, Mrs. Potts and shit just because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
First of all, Mrs. Potts works for Gellin Primewater, as we all know. And secondly, that lady had it coming. So, all right.
I'm pretty sure we shut this. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, you shut that door. Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the Palabros, they see the people that are trapped in darkness. The priestess casts light spell. Everyone kind of cries out in pain. The Palabros get ready to kill them because if they are afraid of light, they are more than likely servants of darkness.
Oh
no, they've just been in the dark too long. Spray them with the water before we.
Oh, right here. And one of them is like, "Hold on, check out this. I bought it from a traveling artificer." She takes out a strange device. It's a super soaker, and she begins squirting everyone with holy water. A lot of them are like, "Ooh, ugh," and then one of them just opens his mouth and it's just like, because he's like so fucking thirsty. One of them stands there stoically, taking the spray right in the face. You can tell that this guy has done a lot of things in his life, and a lot of things for money that he doesn't want to talk about. Pietro, you recognize this guy. All right, the Palabros begin unlocking the cages, letting the people out.
As soon as his jail cells unlock, I'm gonna go in there, grab him, and slam him up against the wall.
Oh, dang. All right. Yeah. Pietro grabs this dude and just slams him against the wall. And this dude just looks at you, and his eyes go wide. Pietro? What? What the hell are you doing here?
That's a pretty bold fucking statement. You left me to die, you cocksucker.
I mean...
Kill you where you stand.
Yeah, well, I mean, Timora had her way with me afterwards. Look at where I ended up.
We're not done, but they're not gonna kill another man.
Oh, then why don't you give me a sword and we'll settle this like the old days?
It wouldn't be a fair fight. I'd kill you in 2 seconds. You would then have starving. I'll go to kill you, you'll be facing me and armed. And you'll be well rested. Get you out of here.
Is this man a criminal? Should he be
No.
arrested?
No. We just have some bad blood.
My only crime is being a fucking idiot. I took a job working for the lady at Daggerford, and things got a little more intimate than they should have. Next thing I know, I wake up and I'm in this cell, feeling like I haven't slept in 100 years. Where is she?
With your prick. She's dead.
Dead?
That lady of Daggerford was a succubus, and we have sent her back to her realm.
Davian's gonna say, Tamora may
He
not
kind
have
of
fucked you as
blushes,
badly as
and
you thought.
he's like, well, I didn't say exactly what we did, but yeah, sucking was part of it. He failed his Arcana check. He doesn't know what a succubus is.
A demon, you idiot!
Oh,
Well,
that explains it.
Devil, but yeah.
Well, technically they're a fiend. They're neither a demon or a devil. They're a neutral faction. Yeah, so I'm with Justin here. Like, there was some sucking going on. All right. The paladin shakes her head in disgust. Your mortal weakness is forgiven by Lathander. All right. Where
I
is...
like vomit in my mouth and swallow it every time the fuck I do it.
This seems to be all the prisoners.
Yep.
Yeah. You should probably, take them, see to them, whatever it is
All right.
you guys do.
The Palabros begin pushing open this door.
That door,
Why?
there's nothing in there. The succubus is over this way.
You see that thing? I killed it.
Well, it's
This...
not. It turned out.
It left behind a little cicada husk. They kind of like are just kind of like, holy shit, as they look into this room. All right, even well, I can't speak for our leader, but this is pretty damning against Daggerford. Yeah. All right, guys, listen. Oh my. He steps into the room. Yeah, we're gonna refund that raised dead.
I grin. And I'm like, yeah, you are.
You did all this, just the 5 of you?
Yeah.
I'm so surprised.
Have you never met adventurers before?
Most of them suck.
I'll be honest. In the current age of heroes, very few make it to 9th level.
Wait, are we level 9?
Yeah.
Well, technically not yet.
You got a long rest, but yeah. All right. So they say, all right, show us what else there is to see. You two,
All right.
stay there and secure that room. You there, stay with the prisoners. Tend to them. All right, you see Justin is dogging Pietro's steps.
I'm gonna show him the statues.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. There's a basilisk in here. We also, I'm gonna like kick it.
Okay.
So these, I guess, are maybe real people.
Yeah, they could
Interesting.
possibly be restored.
Well, we will restore them to get whatever testimonies they might have.
Is there gonna be a
It
court case?
seems you have a strong case mounting here against this so-called succubus.
Oh, just so.
Wait until you see the flesh golem.
Oh yeah.
Now, what happened to this guy?
Oh,
Disintegrated.
Long before we got here.
Hey, Crasher, technically I took all these
There is a
fires.
door. There is a door down there we never checked.
Oh yeah, you did take all these fires, so this room wouldn't be beautifully dynamically lit anymore. Hold on.
Ooh, we thought-
No, we did explore that door. It leads to a pit of acid.
yeah.
Yeah, but we never searched the door beyond.
Wasn't
But
it a
was
fake
a
door?
Fake door.
Oh yeah, and Jenna just kind of looks at you guys like, "You fucking betrayers!" Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. We thought you didn't know.
I don't understand. I don't understand the reference.
Jenna was going to trick the followers of Lathander into falling into the acid trap or triggering the door or whatever. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the acid pit was already there. Like it'd be hard to miss.
All right, they take a look at
gonna-
this
yeah.
this horrible
I'm gonna
creature.
Vanna White hands the thing.
Okay.
I
All right.
expect applause.
Justin murmurs to you, man, she's still kind of hot. Even, you mean just the head part?
Davian's gonna smack him on the back of the head.
I'm just trying to explain away why I made such bad decisions. Anyways. All right, the priestess approaches. She places her hands on the creature's head and tries to cast Speak with Dead. She closes her eyes, says, this is not the head of Lady Daggerford. This is just excellent flesh crafting.
Really?
I hadn't seen it.
And you do, you notice as she says that, she kind of tugs on the hair, and it just kind of like comes loose, and like bits of skin kind of tear off with it, and you just see more of those sort of wormy, ropey muscle vines beneath.
Did the hair actually come loose from the head, like a weave, or?
I mean, kind of, yeah. You know, like Mission Impossible, like rubber mask kind of thing.
I want to take the hair.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Garuda.
It's good hair, okay?
I don't know what Garuda's like kinks are. They're always kind of hinted, which is probably good that they don't go more into detail. But Garuda, I love you, man. I love you.
It's really good hair, Jenna, okay?
I feel like I now know what Garuda is doing. Pietro doesn't know, but Pietro's player knows.
Making a sex doll of Jenna.
No.
All right, so,
I'm weirded out.
well,
We all are.
Let's go.
I just wanted the
you
hair.
made claims that you knew where Lady Daggerford was, but this is not Lady Daggerford.
Wait, who made those claims?
Well,
The short, angry one.
I
We-
thought
we-
it was Lady Daggerford. I'm gonna shrug. I guess I was wrong.
I mean,
Sorry,
after killing the succubi that were down here and the one that was posing as Lady Daggerford, and seeing this with what seemed like Lady Daggerford's head on it, it was a claim that we made in good faith. Although the magic and the wisdom of of this priestess of Lathander was greater than ours. Can we be faulted for not having the, not being as wise as? And he's going to gesture towards the priest.
I was already dead when they found this, so.
Well, there's a bright side. This is a fantastic glass coffin. It's actually made of glass steel, so very durable. Not just a display piece. She just kind of shrugs because she just thought that was useful information, and then realizes that nobody really cares.
Right
So
on land.
I mean, can I put it inside my fanny pack of holding?
it would not fit in your fanny pack of holding.
Useless information.
All right. So they come into the pool area.
I assume
Although
water elemental
there's-
would be gone.
Yeah, the water elemental would be gone by now. And the succubus don't leave bodies, like Davian will point out, like this is where the fake lady of Daggerford was killed. Another succubus was killed on this side of the pool.
Yeah, I mean they see her iridescent blood on the ground. They demand the DM respect their ability to see demonic and devilish stuff, and the DM's like, whatever, sure, it's fiend blood. And they feel like that ability is actually worth something, which is good. All right, elementals back in the deep ocean. There we go.
So in this room, there's nothing but this mirror here. I believe it to be a mirror of life trapping.
Oh.
I'm a powerful wizard, though upon entering this area, we immediately entered combat with the imposter. Give me time with this, I may be able to find out who's inside.
This looks like some kind of vault, but it's completely empty. Not a single coin.
Yeah, there's only this mirror, right, Afro?
Yeah, it was really weird.
That is
this mirror must
really
be
weird.
Super important.
Davian's gonna say it's not weird at all. Clearly, this mirror is the greatest treasure that the succubus had been holding.
Yeah,
all right.
One
of you may make a performance or deception with advantage to see if you could bamboozle these coin adjacent paladins into thinking that this really had no other fucking treasure in it.
Go ahead, Afro.
Alright.
Mm.
What? Really? That was with advantage. And
They
a
all
plus 9.
They all kind of share a look, but they sort of shrug. Like, what are you gonna do? Finder's fee, that kind of thing. All right. So the priestess, she says, "I'm not exceptionally well versed in the arcane, but I do have training in religion." Which kind of is a huge thing, because what? A cleric having training in religion? What the hell kind of game are you running? Yeah. She says, these sorts of mirrors are often used to trap powerful entities from the planes beyond. And she does one of those dramatic, like hand gestures. But they can also, by my understanding, be used to trap denizens of our own plane as well. Have you any idea how to free the occupants? Perhaps anyone the succubus was hoping to trap in there is likely to be quite upset with her.
Yes, I'm a powerful wizard. Given some time with the mirror, I'm sure I could figure out its secret. And possibly release or leave in whatever's in there, depending on what it is.
How much time do you need?
Couple days. Just came back from the dead. Need some rest.
Okay. So exposition at this point. If you guys are willing, they will handle the rest of the essentially locking down of the house without Lady Daggerford to rule the city. Ownership of the city will be handed over to the Council of Guilds, who is super hungry hard on to take over Saltmarsh. So these Palabros are political. They would like to keep the passing of Lady Daggerford a secret, and they will simply lock down the house and tell people that she has a mysterious infernal illness that the Church of Lathander is trying to exorcise and find a cure for, but they've had to lock down the keep. That's basically the lie that they've come up with. They want to buy the town a little time before they find out their most beloved leader is dead, especially the whole she was a succubus thing. Are you guys opposed to the lawful good Church of Lathander lying to the people for their own good?
Yes, except I would
Wait, so
suggest
you are
that.
opposed to it?
Oh no, I'm fine with it. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
Except
gonna say I'm fine with it.
I'm
Yeah.
well, I would suggest that we send Marco to our merchant friend with the real story and let him make of it what he will.
Mm.
See if we can't cause a little bit of chaos.
Well, let's find out who's in this mirror. I mean, I'm sure we could keep up this ruse for a week or so. I look at the paladins.
All right. Justin, seeing that Pietro is going to be sticking with his crew, I guess, while you guys figure this shit out, or no? Because he is likely gonna get the hell out of here unless you.
I'm gonna say, Pietro, your boyfriend's leaving.
Oh damn,
You.
damn. Yeah. So he'll be like, Pietro, I know I did you wrong. You seems like you're making a good run of it now. I'll be in town for a few days, trying to get my life put back together. Maybe I'll see you, and then we can have that duel to the death, so you can I don't know, sleep at night.
I sleep just fine. I will find you.
All right. So exposition wise, then they're gonna lock down the place. You guys are welcome to hang out down here while you study the mirror, rest, level up, that kind of stuff. You don't all have to stay down here. With the efforts of the Church of Lathander, the house is essentially made safe, but also is the property of, Daggerford and the council kind of thing. So they certainly don't want anybody like just wholesale looting the house kind of thing. They do pretty much, outright say, consider the contents of this vault one of the many rewards available to you for your efforts and good deeds.
One of the many. I would like to search Lady Daggerford's chambers, see if there's any information I could find about this mirror and perhaps what else is going on here.
Okay, fair enough. Hold on a sec.
Should we also assume we've
AKA,
got
I
that
would
long rest?
loot Lady Daggerford's room real quick. Don't.
Mm-mm-mm.
Is it alright if I stay in the manor while I look into figuring out the secrets of this mirror? Basically, I want to live like a queen for like a week or so, maybe a couple days. I don't know.
So a mirror that technically would take you less than an hour to figure out, you're going to pretend it takes you a week to figure out, just so that you guys could stay in the mansion for a week. Is that my understanding of all this?
Yeah, we're gonna live like the kings of Daggerford.
Interesting.
I got a death res I gotta get off. Alright. Sickness.
All right. Trying to pick out some kind of chill music to have in the background, since you're
If it's
technically not
gonna be,
in danger.
if if it's not going to be too much of an inconvenience, if you guys are just going to be messing around the manor, we've already looted this place, and you're just stalling to live high on the hog before you release whatever's in that mirror. Pietro would like to resolve his unfinished business with Justin.
Okay, so this could probably be handled back on the Daggerford map in a series of role-playing scenes. So that's what we'll do. So let me take you back to Daggerford. All right. They are struggling to keep the secret because there was supposed to be a big fancy party that night. So they had to turn guests away, cancel the party. This is a world where rich people don't get diseases because you just pay someone to cure disease from you. So any sort of disease harkens memories back to something called the spell plagues, and gets people real nervous. So when they say that there's like a magic disease that paladins and priests are stumped on, there is a low-grade panic in the streets. Yeah, nobody wants anything to do with the manor on the hill, and those that came to visit for the party either leave or decide to throw mini parties at the various taverns throughout the town. The first couple of days, again, it's easy to maintain the lie, but you do see that there is a great impatience building by like the beginning of the third day. Afra, with your inquisitive rogue abilities, you know that Jenna is definitely pushing her luck, and that they more than likely will simply call in, quote unquote, someone who can get the work done. If they don't get results soon. So, all that being said, we're just gonna go round robin and start with Pietro. Pietro, what are you doing during this week-ish of downtime, other than, of course, leveling up?
After getting his ass kicked with the succubus, he's going to get some sleep, and then he's going to seek out Justin, who he thought he wouldn't see again, just because bad luck. But again, he has unresolved issues with him.
All right, fair enough. All right.
After I've healed up, I would seek him out and cordially invite him to a meal in a public place that he doesn't think I'm going to try.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, he does. And because of his captivity, he is eager for talk with people that are not the other three or four people that he was imprisoned with. He fills you in on like the series of bad decisions, I guess, that led him there. He thought that private security would be a cushy job, and so when an opportunity arose to work for a hot yet old lady, because again, Lady Daggerford supposedly in her mid 50s or something, he thought this could be it, cougar hunting and all that jazz. So he thought maybe this would be his chance to become the boy toy of a sexy old lady and never have to work hard again for the rest of his life. Things were suspicious. The lady definitely had some eclectic tastes and terrible mood swings. But in the end, he found himself falling for her. And this is where his kind of gruff demeanor gets even gruffer as he summons all of his toxic masculinity to try to protect his vulnerability. He takes his beer glass and he smashes it. And then people in the restaurant just sort of shake their head. Like, what kind of guy smashes a glass in the middle of a restaurant? Justin, embarrassed by his own outburst, sort of looks down and says, "I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I kind of think I was in love with her, man. But now, I don't know if it was just magic or if I'm just that much of a fool." Either way, eventually things got involved, And man, were they amazing until they weren't. I woke up in the dark. I was told that the lady was bored with me. And that was the only explanation I ever got. What followed were weeks of beatings, torture, mockery. I've endured things that, I don't know. I thought some of the shit we saw in the New World was bad, but that lady and her devils, they were able to come up with punishments that I didn't think could exist.
Really, you were always very creative when it came to getting money from debtors, especially when it came to needles and a hammer.
Well, part of me thinks that maybe this was the universe, the gods, maybe Timora finally turning her beautiful back on me. But my luck definitely ran out. If it wasn't for you, I would have died down there in the dark. I know it doesn't mean much, my word, but my life is yours. So if you need a strong sword arm or someone to swing a hefty club, I'm your guy.
Yes, I always fantasized what I would do when I finally caught up with you, or hoped that I would catch up with you. You left me for dead after we made that mistake of going after a black dragon. But hearing you tell me of the choices that you made, I now realize that it was bad luck and you are your own worst enemy. And me killing you is not going to solve anything for either of us. As much as it would, part of me would like to do so, but you have made choices that have punished you worse than anything that I could do. And I would love an opportunity to extort you, but my honor does not allow it. I would like to one day call you friend again, Justin, but I cannot do that right now. But I will say this. I am, for the most part, based out of Saltmarsh. You can find me there, the empty net. You can leave word with Kripshenker if you wish to speak with me. And I will host you again. But I think at this time, unless there's something else you wish to say to me, let me close the book on our partnership. And should, as you say, Timora see fit, we will cross paths again. But killing you brings me no solace. But I will not stab you in the back.
All right. He swallows hard and kind of nods, and you guys finish up your meal in relative quiet. He does occasionally try to bring up some of your capers that were a little less backstabby, a little bit more action hero-y, to sort of lighten the mood. But you could tell that your forgiveness has wounded him, I think, more than if you had stayed angry. So, all right. While that is going on, Davian, what are you up to during the 3 to 10 days that you can milk out of Daggerford local government?
I would like to identify the following items.
Okay.
We got those from the Succubus vault. I'm going to resync up to Surge in regards to like my Hexblade syncing, and just assure him that it was just for the one day that I was with the dagger to accomplish that mission, and that from this point on, Surge and I will be a unit, dealing death as death needs dealing.
All right. Is that are you lying to Surge, or is that for real?
That's for real.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check with advantage, because Surge is used to being in abusive relationships and likes being convinced and lied to. So. Okay. Yeah. Surge thrums with power. Says, "The time is coming. She who hungers will soon be she who feeds. We must fill the larder in preparation for the feast."
All right. I mean, I have no personal investiture into that, but it sounds like he wants to kill things, and that's what Davian does. So.
Okay. Now you guys have the link to the vault, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I copied and pasted these. These are the items in the vault that were not clear what they did. The mirror is the only other magical item, other than potions, that were listed.
Alrighty. Let's see. So let's see. You posted a bag of shimmering dust. Okay. That is dust of disappearance.
All right.
It is a basic bitch item. Should be available in the compendium. Here, I'll just.
I'm just typing them into the treasure as you tell us what they are.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. The really nice lyre is a clee lyre. It is an instrument of the motherfucking bards. It is
Davian
the
only knows how
greatest
to play a
magic
viol.
item in 5th edition that a bard could find, except for homebrew shit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that Davian would be stoked for, except he doesn't know how to play it.
I mean, do you know how to play any stringed instruments?
The viol.
Oh, yeah, that's fine then. So it makes no sense that you could have proficiency in all vehicles that have ever been invented with a proficiency, but you could only be proficient in one musical instrument. So I usually just do like musical instrument category, like percussion, string, wind, that kind of thing. I mean, anybody that if you know musicians in real life, you know that good musicians can pick up an instrument that's like an instrument they know and play that instrument pretty well. Obviously not like expertly without a little bit more training, but yeah, the skill set does kind of carry across. Anyways, the stinky ointment is I can never pronounce this dude's name. Keotum's ointment.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
How do you spell it?
God, Keoghtom.
Found it.
Oh, so the inappropriate rubbing ointment.
Yeah. All right. The gloves made of living flesh are living gloves. I will link to that. There we go. The sharp-edged whetstone. This is a real nice one. This whetstone is formed from iron exposed to poisonous pools for an extended period. When this whetstone is applied to a weapon, which takes an action, the weapon does an additional 1d6 poison damage for 5 minutes. It is not a consumable item.
Oh wow.
Does
Do
it
you apply
require
multiple
attunement?
weapons to it?
It just says when it is applied to a weapon. Now, ammunition-wise, you'd have to apply it to each piece of ammunition, so it wouldn't like work,
What
all
about
that well.
to the gun itself, though?
If you threw the gun at someone, the gun would do extra poison damage when it hit them. Yep.
I've only had to do that option once.
Okay. Let's see. The jar of purple glitter is powdered mind flayer brain.
So do
All
we
right.
snort that or?
It is mind dust. Basically, it can be used as a spell component for any spell that deals psychic damage. If you use it as a spell component in such a manner, that spell will deal 1d6 extra psychic damage. There are 20 uses of the dust.
Well, doesn't Afra use Psychic Blade? So that's good.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, I
Okay.
could probably use
Although,
it,
I mean, it
Are-
doesn't have a material component. I think maybe it does. Let me look. I mean, could I just use it anyway?
Yeah, I guess you could. But yeah, you're looking for spells that would have an M listed for material component.
Yeah, Shadow Blade
Yeah.
doesn't.
Mm. I mean, there's 20 uses of it, so I don't know. I would say letter of the law. It needs to be used as a material component. So if a spell does not require a material component, technically, yeah, it would need to be subbed in for material component. So, all right. Finally, the skirts. They're complicated enough that I'll just post the card for them. It is the skirt of the merchant princess. Both satchels on the skirt have extra dimensional space inside, which can be used to store specific items. The left can store up to 10,000 coins. The right can store up to 50 scrolls, 5 quills, and 5 bottles of ink. As an action, you can speak a command word to open an extra dimensional doorway in a 5-foot space in front of you. This doorway is an open arch without a door. It lasts until you speak the command word again. The interior of the dimensional space is 90 feet deep, 30 feet wide, and 20 feet high. Any modifications or items you leave in the space will remain there when the doorway is closed. When the doorway is closed, all creatures inside of the space are instantly expelled, appearing within 5 feet where the doorway was or in the nearest unoccupied space. The current contents of the room is torture sex dungeon. So roughly 800 gold worth of torture sex dungeon equipment and decorations are in the room. You can keep them, or you can try to sell them, but that is currently what the interior of the skirt of the merchant princess is set up to be. Sort of a torture sex dungeon away from home sort of deal.
pseudo demiplane.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right. Not as useful, say, as like a rope trick, because the rope trick's a little bit harder to get inside. But because the door is open to anybody can come and go through it. But incredibly useful as far as like a mobile, whatever room you decide to build
Storage
inside of it.
closet. Yeah.
Yeah, storage site, tavern, inn. Like you could make this space into anything you want, which is kind of cool. All right, so that is what those items do. All right. Afra, during the downtime, what are you getting up to? You said that you were gonna follow up with what is this? This guy Felix McGuire over here that you had talked to earlier about. You had big plans for the. They were gonna be
Yeah.
moving and shaking was gonna happen. Blah blah blah.
So I was just gonna let him know that Lady Daggerford is dead, and the
Mm,
paladins are lying,
mm.
and they're trying to take over the city. So he should, you know, think about the council and their, you know, place in things.
Based on your groundwork that you've already laid out and the believability of this situation as far as what you have said, go ahead and give me a deception or performance with advantage.
Okay.
Okay. This guy seems he seems, I'll tell you, because Inquisitive Rogue, he does seem suspicious of your success, and then the paladins like lying. He could accept that. The paladin's trying to take over the town. He's not 100% buying that, but it is believable. He definitely you could see the gears sort of turning underneath his hat as he is trying to figure out where he stands in all this and where he could best maneuver to get the most possible gain. He nods to you and thanks you for this information and wants to know, where does that leave you in all this?
Just doing a good deed.
Mm-hmm.
We
Okay.
told you there would be opportunity. Here's your opportunity.
Okay. The fact that you're giving this information for free and that you're being so helpful to a man like this, especially now that he has seen the fruits of your labor, basically, he can no longer think that you're just an idiot. So therefore, he thinks that there has to be more at play here, that you would be giving him this information for free.
Well, I mean, I would like heavily imply that he's gonna be in our debt and owe us favor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's gonna be payment, but just not yet.
I see. Well, and he says this much louder so that anybody, at neighboring tables, booths, wherever you guys happen to be meeting, can hear. He says, if the gods are good, then Lady Daggerford will make a speedy recovery.
Mm.
All right. And when he goes to pay his share of the meal, he leaves behind 10 platinum coins as well, past what was needed for the
Sweet.
meal.
Sweet.
All right.
I will take them.
Garuda, do you get up to any shenanigans during this pseudo downtime?
Oh yeah. So I will be mindlessly aiming the halls, looking like I'm not looking for anything as well as I did, but looking for like really good metals and materials to make new guns out of. And as I
Okay.
found them,
Yeah, yeah. Are you being in any way sneaky about this?
oh yeah, I'm
Or
completely trying to be
okay.
sneaky.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand. We'll assume that you had advantage because you were waiting for the opportune moment to sort of scoop up some goodies. Okay, yeah. You were able to make off with most of the silver, like the family silver. Given that it's very old and passed down through the family, it's quite valuable, but could easily provide you with silvered ammunition for as long as you needed. So that's pretty good. You also managed to find a very nice, like small bust of Lady Daggerford, looking way too sexy for like to be out on display. The piece does seem to be made of mithril and could be melted down as well to use for crafting.
Dope, 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 dope.
Okay.
The last thing I would do inside the house is I would take a huge bubble bath with way too many bubbles.
Okay. Easily done. Easily done. All right. There's only like a few moments where you think that ghosts are watching you because of all the people that may have died in this bathtub. So, Jenna, while you are there, well, this Lady Daggerford did study magic. So there is a spell library. Rather than break the balance of my game, because I reserve the right to just not break the balance of my game, you can basically add to your own spell book any a combination of spells that total 40 spell levels. The maximum
God.
spell that you could learn would be 7th level.
Oh God. All right. I'll just do that later. When I have time to think.
I mean, you understand what I mean, right? So if you picked a 7th level spell, it'd be 40 minus 7. So you'd have,
So
okay,
there'd
yeah.
be 33 levels left. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. This also represents just the fucking time it would take, because you know the time is ridiculous that it takes to do this stuff.
Yep.
As far as the cost, this is also wrapped up in you would just use her own reagents and gold inks and stuff like that that she had available, rather than pay for your own.
Sounds good.
Other than that, it seemed like she kept most of her good stuff either on her person or down in the vaults. There is not too much of interest. You do find a hand mirror worth 1,000 gold that more than likely was used as a focus for scrying magics.
Take
Okay.
it. If we don't use it, we can sell it.
Here.
It's a very like Beauty and the Beast, evil stepmother, like, hold up the hand mirror kind of deal, scrying device. And then of course, just all kinds of nice clothes, undies, all that, fancy lady
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
taking her whole trip.
Her wardrobe, if you were to take all of it, including the shoes and the jewelry, that would be 5,000 gold.
You think Jenna's selling that?
Nice.
You think Jenna's selling
Though
that?
it would be pretty obvious beyond the magic you could bullshit away as like, oh yeah, I have to research her books because I have to know how the mirror works. But like straight up like robbing this lady's clothes, they're gonna be like, why are you taking all of her clothes?
Because mine were damaged. Yeah, and pretty much like with my downtime, just investigating her personal room, which I think it did, and then I just go ahead and study the mirror and try.
Okay, so the mirror itself. Let's talk about the mirror. Let's see. To the best of your knowledge, there is no way to get the mirror off the wall, which makes you think that it has been stuck to the wall with that very special, very magical glue that occasionally shows up to vex people. Sovereign glue. So sovereign glue, this viscous, milky white substance, could form a permanent adhesive bond between any two objects. It must be stored in a jar or flask that has been coated inside with oil of slipperiness. Basically, once done, it can only be broken by universal solvent or oil of etherealness or a wish spell. Those are the only.
I'll just
Yeah.
one of the spells I take will have to do with stone shaping, and I will just remove the wall with the mirror.
All right, fair enough. It is unbelievably heavy, but you do have a wall with this mirror stuck to it. So, learning about the mirror itself. Here we go. All right. So the mirror is tall, 4 feet. It is heavy. In addition to the hundreds of pounds of stone that is stuck to it, it also itself weighs 50 pounds. Here's the thing: any creature other than you that sees it through. Well, I'm sorry. Are you gonna tune to this mirror?
Yeah, I'm a cast identify on it, and if a tuning to it will make me like safe from the bullen.
Because its previous owner has been banished, essentially. Her ties to it are broken. You can attune to it. It's interesting. It's attunement without using an attunement slot, if that makes sense. Basically, you become the owner of the mirror, but it doesn't burn up one of your attunement slots.
Sounds good.
Okay. So basically, the mirror can be destroyed quite easily. When the mirror is destroyed, everything inside is released. Any creature other than you who sees its reflection must make a DC 15 Charisma save or be trapped, along with anything it is wearing or carrying in one of the mirror's 12 extra-dimensional cells. So there's 12 cells total. This save can be made with advantage if the creature knows the mirror's nature, and constructs succeed on the saving throw automatically. An extra-dimensional cell is an infinite expanse filled with thick fog that reduces visibility to 10 feet. Creatures trapped in the mirror's cells do not age. They don't need to eat, drink, or sleep. A creature trapped within a cell can escape using magic that permits planar travel. Otherwise, the creature is confined to the cell until freed. If the mirror traps a creature, but its 12 extra-dimensional cells are already occupied, the mirror frees one trapped creature at random to accommodate the new prisoner. A freed creature appears in an unoccupied space within sight of the mirror, but facing away from it. If the mirror is shattered, all creatures it contains are freed and appear in unoccupied spaces near it. While within 5 feet of the mirror, you can use an action to speak the name of one creature trapped in it, or call out a particular cell by number. The creature named or contained in the named cell appears as an image in the mirror's surface. You and the creature can then communicate normally. In a similar way, you can use an action to speak a second command word and free one creature trapped in the mirror. The freed creature appears, along with its possessions, in an unoccupied space nearest to the mirror, facing away from it. So you do not know who are in the cells, but you do know the cell numbers because you do know how to count from 1 to 12.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do I know, like, if I call someone to, like, talk to, like, in the mirror, like, from the cell number, if they have, like, any... Are they, like, completely trapped and they can just talk? Or
It's
are they able
just
to, like,
it's
stuff?
just communication. They can't try to kill you or anything else like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start, once I'm alone, right, I'm gonna just start going through all of the cell numbers and trying to figure out who's inside.
Okay. What do you just start with number 1 and go from there? Or do you
Yep,
start at 12 and count down?
One from there.
Okay, you summon the image of the prisoner in cell number 1. It is a purple reptilian face, beefy boy that appears in the thing. It looks angry and it bellows in draconic words. Do you speak draconic?
I ritual cast comprehend languages.
Okay, so you can understand it, but it can't understand you.
Or
Got it.
actually, I cast tongues. How about that? I'll just cast tongues for myself. It'll be one of
Okay.
the spells to take.
All right. In that case, you see a Bahir, a multi-legged monstrosity bred by the giants of a previous age as a hunting hound of sorts to track down dragon nests and eat and kill all their babies before they got a chance to grow up and cause problems. It has lightning abilities, a lightning breath weapon. It's a huge creature. It's very powerful. Can eat people alive. In Draconic, it demands to be freed. It sees you and your face, and just says, "You cannot fool me with yet another face. Let me out, and let me out now."
I mean, I won't just simply release you. You seem very hostile, and we are not in a safe place to do so. But the previous owner of this mirror is no longer. I am. What is your name?
Yeah, it just looks at you like, do you think I'm stupid? Like, do you think that I would ever like fall for that shit? It's hard to read all that off of its face, but it just says, Xerxes, we have known each other too long. I am no fool to fall for your lies. You simply wish to torment me, and I will not give you the satisfaction. Already I feel shame for my outburst. Release me to my eternity of imprisonment. I will give you no such pleasures to speak with me any further.
Alright, I'll speak with you later then. And I'll just go to...
All right. So the next one is a guy named Firos. Trying to find Firos on here. There's a whole fucking cast list of people that are trapped in the mirror. Firos is a very handsome young man. He looks tired and sad when he appears in the mirror. And he just sort of looks morosely at you and says, "Oh, a new face. I suppose you got tired of mocking me with your other ones."
The succubus that owned this mirror is no more. I am its new owner.
Sure.
Alright, what's your name? And why were you trapped here?
Oh shit! Hold on. Sorry. 2 is a handsome man, but the handsome name is Peter. My bad. I was looking at the wrong entry. Yeah.
You said the name's Pete.
Yeah, Pharos is not in there because Pharos is the dragonborn that you guys dealt with in back in Saltmarsh when you were trying to get information on this lady, and he was like, I guess the live-in apprentice stepson houseboy of this person. I don't know. It was complicated. All right. So this guy Peter, who let's see. Let me move all these peeps. GM layer. There we go. All right. What the hell? Oh, okay, sweet. There we go. All right. So this guy, Peter, he just kind of, it feels like these people have maybe been toyed with too much, you know? Like when you push people to a certain point and they just don't care anymore. You know what I mean? But this is only the second person you've talked to. But you could give me a persuasion, since you are technically not lying, to see if this you can get through to this guy. Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's -2 because death penalty.
Yeah. Peter's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to cry? Do you want me to beg? I don't know what I did to wrong you. I don't know what I did that would put me here. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I barely remember my own name if I hadn't scratched it into my own chest with my own fingernails. If you are feeling merciful, just end me. Or leave me.
Talk to you again. And I'll just go to the next one. If
All
they're
right.
like non-comparable, I'm gonna just work on them slowly over.
Okay. In the next one, you see a very young, Lady Daggerford. She looks at you, and her eyes narrow and in hatred. What
You the
now?
Lady Daggerford?
Have you painted yourself into another corner that you can't explain your way out of? I would assume by now you have everyone believing just about any lie you tell.
I'm actually a new owner. I've slain your imposter, and I'm here to...
All right, try again with persuasion.
I think a 23.
Her eyes alight with just the faintest glimmer of hope. Is that true? Really?
It is, my lady.
What of Daggerford? How are the people?
They flourish. We have slain the succubus that was your imposter, and I'm here to free you.
Wait. Yes, please. Ah, you must be incredibly powerful to have defeated her.
So I'm gonna just free her from the mirror. Use the action to free her.
Okay. She is freed. She is wearing like a very outdated dress, but it is a nice like noblewoman's dress. And she kind of shies away from you. Just because she's not used to being around anyone else except herself. And she looks around and she says, where is this? Is this the library?
I would have
I'm assuming you had the stone wall brought up to the library because
Yeah.
it's more comfortable to research the mirror in there. Okay.
Yep, the lab. Yeah, it is.
Okay. In my house?
Yes.
Are you?
I am. Go on. I'm sure you have a lot of.
Are you a wizard?
I am, my lady.
Oh. You must be a powerful wizard to have matched your skills against Rixus.
It was quite the endeavor. I had help, of course. I was actually sent here by...
How much time has passed?
Can I know, it's been a long time, right? But probably
yeah.
a few decades.
It's been about 35 years or so.
Yeah, I'll just be like, I think it's been about 35 years.
Her face gets very stony, like her jaw clenches up, and you just see like tears kind of forming at the corner of her eyes. They start to sort of spill forth, but she does not like cry per se, but she definitely is fighting to maintain her composure. At that exact moment, there is a tremendous roar from her stomach. She clutches it and kind of falls to her knees and says, "Oh, I'm so hungry."
I'll give her whatever I was snacking on
Okay.
while I was working. Probably some fresh fruits.
Yeah, she ravenously kind of starts eating it, realizing that she hasn't had any food or water in 35 years. And as she kind of sits there on the floor, her face tear-stained, eating whatever, afternoon meal you kind of had prepared, she just sort of looks around and she says, "But the town and the people are flourishing?"
They are well. The succubus, she did well to hide her true nature.
But
So I
she
am
didn't abuse her power. She didn't enslave the populace. She didn't burn down the orphanage.
No, but I mean there has been several people going missing. I mean she still had her way, but discreet.
This is all my fault. As she kind of looks down, and on her younger face, you could just kind of tell that this is a person who realizes they done goofed real hard.
Did you seek service or some kind of power from her?
If you are a
Or did
wizard,
she just find
then
you?
you are surely learned in the histories of the Sword Coast. You must know that my family's history has been turbulent, that my brother rose up as a great leader, but the pressures of rule began to unhinge his mind. He eventually became a tyrant and was killed by the same adventurers that had previously been hired by him to defeat a black dragon from the lizard swamp that threatened the region. But in truth, it was I who hired those adventurers to end his tyranny. At the urgings of my mentor, Zrixis. It's only now, all these years later, trapped with my thoughts and nothing else, that I was able to piece together what I believe transpired. Zrixis had her way with my brother until his mind was warped into something vile, fiendish, till his bloodlust and dark desires were such that perhaps even the succubus could no longer sate them. She turned my brother into a monster, and then, in a different guise, came to me, a kind and beautiful mentor who could allow the mousy, quiet girl who lived in her family and her brother's shadow, she could teach me to step out of the shadows into the light and perhaps make some greater contribution to the world at large, to Daggerford. As I was learning from her, I learned a great many things, as well as some magic. And she kind of shows you, I have Eldritch Blast, without blowing up the library. But she never made mention of her connection to my brother, and with her shifting forms, the many women and men that my brother associated with, any one of them could have been her, but I'm confident that at least one of them was. Eventually, she painted my brother as the villain of my story. That if I could remove him from the equation, I could step in to his absent place and rule Daggerford and bring it to peace and prosperity once again. I could be the hero that the people needed. She helped me get in contact with those very same adventurers who, traveling through the sewers, infiltrated the manor and destroyed him. Xerxes and I celebrated our great success, and that is when she revealed her true self to me and trapped me in the mirror. She said that our plan was so good that she didn't want to share it anymore. It seems that she at least honored that, if she helped the region recover and prosper.
Yes, my lady. Well, um, fortunately for you, you are quite loved by the people. We currently have a visage um, in place that you are simply ill, and that's why you haven't been seen for a while. But no one needs to know this happened.
You would have me lie to my own people, assume the role of an imposter, live with whatever reputation she had created for herself? For me?
I mean, assume the role for your people.
Would not honesty be the best course of action? Do not the people deserve to live with the truth?
I don't think so.
Tell me then, what did the Lady of Daggerford have going on? What was she planning, that I might know whether or not this is a role I should assume? Or perhaps I should just leave in the dead of night, let Lady Daggerford die, and start some new life somewhere else.
I don't know too much of the politics of Daggerford. I was sent by a patron of Saltmarsh.
Saltmarsh, the
He had
small smuggling village that pretends to be fishermen. The one
Well,
south of the swamplands along the King's Road?
it has grown into quite the city, quite the
Truly.
place of trade.
Well, good for
It
them.
was my
Th-
patron that was suspicious and sent us here.
She's
I would ask
wary
if
of the
you
word
speak with him.
patron when you say it. Oh, are you also a studier of the Eldritch arts?
No, I meant more like my.
Oh, like a traditional patron.
Yeah.
So wait, you were sent to do what now?
To investigate uh, your whereabouts and
But weren't my whereabouts known?
Well, he had his suspicions about her.
Then your patron is truly wise.
Yeah, I suggest you speak with him,
Um,
and perhaps he could help guide you. He's much more fluid in politics and much more knowledgeable than my.
so how much time have your lies bought us? Enough time for this patron of yours to arrive and fill me in?
Yeah, I could have him. I've bought. It's been 2 days. I could buy some more time. I could probably have him here within a day.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, other than a deep desire for food, water, and sleeping, and a tremendous amount of PTSD that I think would take decades of therapy to even begin to crack open the surface of. I don't know how you help a person that has been awake and by themselves for 35 years in a misty 10-foot room. But surprisingly, she does seem to be pretty well composed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cast a sending spell to. Well, I'll use the stone to prime water and say, I have the real Lady Daggerford. Come immediately. She seeks your.
Yeah, I mean, he texts back, OMW. And then, should I bring anyone else? Ida, perhaps?
Whoever you.
Well, yeah.
feel is
Do you use a sending spell? Do you have sending as a?
I mean,
Or,
I was relying on the stone,
oh,
but I mean,
gotcha.
I'm sure it's in the library, so I could get sending as one of the 40 spells.
All right. Either way, he will arrive within a day. Do you alert the rest of the party of the situation, or do you keep her cloistered away for now? Do you let the paladins know, like that you?
I don't let any of the citizens of Daggerford know. I just
Okay.
let if any of the like party comes to the manor, I'll fill them in.
Okay.
But I'm kind of keeping her like sequestered, like by herself, feeding her and just answering whatever light questions I can.
All right, fair enough. Party, does anyone have an occasion to check in on Jenna as the days kind of go past?
I would imagine we check in with her at least once a day.
Okay. So on the evening of the second day or the morning of the third day, Jenna, your allies kind of swing by to check on you. You have a one 20-ish aged Lady Daggerford sleeping on a couch in her own library.
Yeah, and I'm also casting Mordenkainen's private sanctum on the area, so no one can
All right.
like listen in or anything. Yeah,
Okay.
as they come in, I'm just like, I've released her. Prime Mortar's on it.
Then our mission is nearly finished.
She seems cautious of you guys, but again, mostly well composed. Uh, definitely has the air of a person who is still waking up from a long sleep, or perhaps trying to shake off a particularly lucid dream. There's sort of a slowness to her mannerisms and her reactions. Does anybody want to speak with her, or do you just sort of acknowledge that she's over on the couch in her library?
Tell her she looks more beautiful than the succubus thing. But I don't know
Aw.
what beauty is, so.
No, not when you compare it to Captain Jenna.
Do you add the butt in there, or do you just tell her that she looks more beautiful than the succubus did?
No, I just say you're pretty beautiful. Way more hot than the succubus was.
Okay. She kind of raises an eyebrow at you, and she says, "You are a talking bird."
Yes, I am.
Oh. Has some item or wizard cursed you? Some hag, perhaps?
Not that I am aware of. I am what the people around here call a bird person, also known as Birdman. And I am the only one of my kind. So if you see anyone else, they were cursed. You should help them out immediately.
You're the last of your people? The only one that remains?
Yep, the only one. I am that
Oh.
special. You should treat me with kindness and gifts.
I have no gifts to give per se, but if you helped Lady Jenna free me and risked the end of your entire species to do so, I am so grateful. Thank you.
You should remember that gracefulness if it ever comes down to it.
Certainly. If I encounter another bird person who is not cursed, I will let you know so that you perhaps can save your species.
It's very kind of you. Why before go?
But she seems very confused. Full
Also,
facts.
Crash?
Nobody wanted to play an Aarakocra back in the day because they had weird like wing arms and they looked like fucking red turkeys. So there's probably no chance that 35 years ago she would have encountered an Aarakocra. So she's has no idea what this guy is. Yeah. Sorry. What was the?
Yeah, while Lady Daggerford was sleeping, I did put the mirror into the sex torture dungeon that the
Oh,
skirt
okay.
had.
Who
Yeah,
is
just
helping you
for
move the mirror? Because again, it's in hundreds and hundreds of pounds of stone wall that's stuck to the
the
back of it.
levitate spell.
Levitate spell.
I could use
telekinesis.
I can use stone shape to take a bunch of that stone off the back of the mirror if you want.
Get it down to just like the thinnest layer of stone and glue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
If
fair enough.
want that.
What are you guys talking about?
all right, then I will do that. I will stone shape the mirror.
Okay. All right. In that case, do you do anything else with the other prisoners in the mirror?
No, I'm just address them after we've left Daggerford and we're.
Okay. I mean, I could give you a quick run through in case they even catch your eye, but essentially,
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it eventually.
Yeah, you got a 32-year-old human man. You've got a half-elf man. You've got a tiefling. You have a force elemental. You have a wood elf, and the rest of the cells are all empty.
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly bind them to my will and then free them as my servant.
Okay, that's super duper evil, but on brand. All right. So Gellin arrives, and do you guys prep him? Dare I say, prime him for this meeting, or do you just sort of?
Yeah, I'm gonna fill him in on everything, what she remembers, what she doesn't know, her concerns about Daggerford, the politics, how I kind of told her that she should just take up the mantle, that she was always there, and that she's kind of hesitant.
Okay. All right. Gellin turns to all of you guys. Are you all assembled when Gellin arrives, or do you just let Jenna and Gellin handle this?
We would try and be there.
Okay, sure.
No Lady Prime
Um,
Water?
Told about the meeting, I would try to be there, but I don't know if I would be invited for that.
you inquire as to Lady Primewater, but she does not like to travel nowadays.
I'll offer the dagger when he arrives.
Oh, he says, yeah, she she mentioned that you might try to return this, which I thought was laughable. I was like, no, they'll just try to conveniently forget that you gave it to them. And then she scolded me for being rude. No, she actually said that if you did try to return it, that I should tell you to keep it because your work with it was not yet done.
God damn it.
I will nod and keep hold of it.
Oh, wow, somebody's happy. And he looks at your trident, Surge. You guys all finally managed to sort out whatever was upsetting this little fella here?
Sort of. Out of
I'm just saying
character.
that this is the first time I've been around this trident, and it hasn't promised me the entire world on a silver platter to murder all of you and take it from you.
Wait, what?
Jenna looks at Afro.
Interesting.
You see him kind of pop his collar and ruffle his incredible mullet around his collar, and then he's just like, I mean, obviously it's got great taste, but no, it's good. So, all right, so she's in you're keeping her cloistered away in the library, and you're just bullshitting all these do-goody paladins, and they don't know that she's even back yet. Am I caught up? Am I caught up to speed on all
correct.
this? Okay.
Yeah, basically, they still are applying the visage that she's ill, so they don't want to, let the town know that they were being ruled by a noble succubus.
I see. So,
and they were planning on saying that she passed from the disease, but obviously we've got her here alive.
all right. So then there's no word has gotten out to the contrary. The lie told by the Church of Lathander is what the people believe, right? There's no loose ends running around that might know the truth, right?
Not that I know of.
All right. You guys have managed to keep it in the circle, in the
Mario.
Cool. All right.
Well, Mario's with me.
Well, you haven't seen Mario since you died. To be honest, yeah, he has not made a reappearance.
Okay. I'm gonna send him a sending spell when I get a chance. But
okay, fair enough. Actually, we could even say that you did, and the sending spell went through, and they refused to reply.
Oh goodness.
You just saw red. And then maybe one time there was like 3 dots that sort of appeared, and then disappeared.
All right, great.
All right, okay. All right. So he kind of looks at everybody and says, "All right, well, we just need to craft a believable narrative that it's impossible that there was ever anything like that. Looks like the house has gotten gnome pro'd, so that's good. The way these paladins operate, I thought there would be like more blood in the house, but it looks pretty clean. If we take their narrative further, we just say that whatever mysterious curse was there was sent by one of her rivals, some Chultan artifact. The Sword Coast people love blaming things on Chultan artifacts. I don't know. It's weird. So we'll say that it was some Chultan artifact, caused people to blow up, hence there's no bodies. We were able to save Lady Daggerford, but apparently not too many other people. whatever prisoners you guys have saved, I guess they've already been released out into the world. That could be problematic, right? Or do you think they're just going to mind their own business and not get
I
involved?
mean, I'm not sure what the paladins have done with them. Has anyone kept?
I mean, did you get any names of the prisoners that?
Yeah, I have a whole ledger
Well,
explaining.
then
If you
I
need me
could
to, I
just.
suppose I could track down Justin again, if that needs to be handled.
Well, if we're trying to secure the narrative here, I'll have Luck and his associates go and remove those loose ends.
Yeah, take care of.
If you'll permit me, I'd like to take care of the individual I have a relationship with. Perhaps it'll be easier that way.
All right, you've more than earned that, and I respect trying to take care of your own business. Sure. All right.
The prisoners, for the most part, are pretty lost in the head. They've been tortured quite crazily. I'd be surprised if anyone even believed.
So perhaps you'll come up with some, I don't know, bullshit story about how using your wizard ways and magics you were able to concoct a cure from some rare unguents or whatnot that your associates were able to secure through daring do an adventure, and thus save the life of Lady Daggerford and her closest supporters, aka any of the serving staff who are being held in custody by the paladins that are willing to not turn on the narrative.
Sounds good to me.
All right. I'm sure that the Church of Lathander will tell whatever lies it needs to save face. Living literally next door to a powerful fiend for 35 years is not very good for business. All right. I suppose as long as it's sold well enough, the populace will believe it. People like to feel safe. Knowing that heroes can stop a magical disease definitely makes them feel more safe than knowing that they lived under the rule of a powerful, otherworldly being. For some of them, for most, if not all of their lives. If they have to choose between two possible truths, they're going to choose the one that makes them feel the best.
Sounds about right.
All right. Then all that remains is to meet this Daggerford. Do you feel that she is of a sane mind? And he kind of looks around as if, like, to make sure she's not there. Like, is she more or less crazy than my own wife?
Less,
Okay.
surprisingly.
All right. Then we can still
She
work with
seems
that.
to have held her composure rather well over the years.
All right. Then let's meet with her. Unless, do any of you have any suggestions on how best this could be handled? This is my play. I was just going to basically explain to her that myself and you, through association, represent the city of Saltmarsh. We are stalwart allies and supporters of Daggerford, and all that we seek is our continuing independence. And as the Duchess of Daggerford, it is well within her power to ensure that that continues, and perhaps beneficial trade agreements could be written up between key members of Saltmarsh society and the city of Daggerford as well. But if you have a better narrative or something else to add to it, please let me know before we go in there.
Well, maybe that, as long as we all here benefit.
No. All right. I also bring good tidings. Work is going well on the island of the lighthouse.
Oh, how's what you call it doing there? What's her name? Willow.
Yeah, I mean, it is, a few days out to sea, but from what I understand, they have managed to secure the facility. They opted to cave in the flooded Eldritch ruins beneath the structure to seal away the evil therein. But in doing so, they did uncover some natural caverns beneath the lighthouse structure that they are refitting into additional living spaces.
Neat.
Sounds very good. I can't wait to see it.
All right. Afra, you've been awfully quiet. I know that your talent is in listening, but do you have any advice?
I think that we, perhaps myself and Jenna, should just try and be friends with Lady Daggerford. She seems quite impressionable.
That's really good. Huh. How impressionable? Like, do we need to leave someone with her to guide her and her decisions, like a handler?
She thought I was the only one of my kind that impressionable.
You told her that, but yes.
Well,
Okay.
also, she, the Succubus came to power by manipulating her.
I mean, we've all been young, but
Yeah.
wouldn't her mind be like 55 years old, though? But I guess it's had no outside anything. No books, no media, no conversations, except with her warden, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, is one of you willing to stay with her and guide her as she takes over rulership of this duchy?
Well, I mean,
I
we
have
could...
I have business in Saltmarsh. I can't move here. And how would that look? A married man of my age, reputation, like hanging out with well, I guess
The
she's
wrong impression.
right.
Can I make an out of character comment to the group before we proceed?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
One thing that I have been mentioning is the fact that the reason I made this Davian character build when I created him was because we had Willow in the party. Because my original plan, if Elvis died, was to make a cleric. We don't have a cleric now, and it's kind of bit us in the ass a couple of times. So just putting it out there that I like Davian, I'll continue to play him, but at the same time, it might be very beneficial to actually get a cleric in the party. So this could be an opportunity for Davian to stay behind to counsel the new Duchess. It is kind of his thing, listening and providing information to people. So it would be in character for him to actually stay behind in order to see to our interests here, and would allow us to actually have a cleric who can cast things like Greater Restoration and Revivify, and those things that we have been missing, particularly since Willow left. And
I like that idea, but only if you want to. I'm not trying to force you for anything.
The argument is sound. The one thing that I see is that you haven't been with the group long enough that we necessarily trust you with that. Because
I mean, I don't know. I think that's. I mean, honestly, man, it's up to you. You can play whatever you want to play. If you like, we could like insert a NPC figurehead here. You know.
absolutely, I'm just putting it as an option.
Like...
If the party would like to have a cleric with the party, that was my original plan. If Elvis died, like it's no skin off my bones to swap it. I mean, it's this is an opportunity to possibly do that. But if we're legitimately fine with going on whatever further things we got to do without actually having a cleric with us, then I can shelve it. But it just feels like this is a good RP opportunity to possibly do that.
It's up to you, homie. You do what you want to.
Yeah, like, you want to play Davian, play Davian. If you would like to be a cleric, then Davian can stay. 100% your choice.
Oh, I'm keeping Davian then.
Yeah.
Narratively, also, Prime Order would kind of be like, why would we put this guy in charge of this lady? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was my issue.
yeah.
Like
Like
ultimately,
maybe as like a bodyguard or something, but he doesn't really know your credentials as far as like guiding. He was kind of hoping that like Jenna or Afro would retire from adventuring and become the shadow ruler of Daggerford, but
Oh god, that sounds great, right?
I
But
mean,
like,
this is
I can't.
opportunity.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you could retire right now,
Garuda will help
become a
out.
permanent NPC in the Sword Coast. Just
Garuda will
saying.
help
no,
out
I was
Lady
I was
if
just
Daggerford.
Garuda seriously suggests that, Pietro will fall over laughing.
He will stay there, like, no, I'll help her. I got this.
Okay, Garuda.
Okay. All right. You
I'm
see the two bushy caterpillars that are this man's eyebrows rise high up on his forehead, and he says, "Oh, that is not exactly who I thought would volunteer. Garuda, do you feel that you have a strong grasp of the regional politics and economic state?
No, I do not.
Then perhaps we should find another."
Oh god, it
Hmm.
sounds so great, right? But like, I can't.
Hmm. I'm just gonna say that like potentially I was going to suggest that we supply Lady Daggerford with a sending stone and we can just make sure to, you know, text a lot. Like BFFs do.
Well,
I'll send her some funny memes and
What?
um maybe
if neither
whenever she's
if neither
yeah.
of you ladies is willing to stay, the sending stones are a brilliant idea, and we will secure them. But I would put forth that I could try and convince Ida. She's an old lady. She's very sweet. It would look like a whole fairy godmother situation. You know, like she lost a lot of people to this mysterious Chulton disease, um, cursed artifact situation. She's recovering. Now that she loves Saltmarsh, a representative of Saltmarsh has come to nurse her back to health and help her. I mean, it's a lot less suspicious than if I did it.
Sounds pretty
I'm
appropriate. And perhaps
But
after I'm done with what I'm doing, I could return. But
Afra, did you have something else?
well I was just gonna say, isn't Ida a little senile?
Senile.
I
I
got that
mean,
impression.
she's passionate about Daggerford and Saltmarsh and the soured relationship that they had, but this would be an opportunity for her to set it on a course that would benefit everyone.
That's
I
the old
think,
lady, right?
Okay,
yeah, I think she would be appropriate.
okay.
Huh.
I'll just shrug.
Oh, hey,
I
Mr.
mean, I
Primar.
know you're very insightful. Is she senile? She doesn't seem senile to me. She seems to be pretty sharp.
No,
Mr.
I'm
Primar.
sure I'm wrong.
You don't have to spare my feelings, Zephyr. Is this? I mean, I value what you have to say.
I mean, she just well, I mean, I guess a lot of that is
Yeah,
the fact that
she's rambly. She rambles a
you
lot.
were clearly taking advantage of her. I just worry that outside of your influence, eh, who knows what'll happen.
Afra, I think you're just being ageist. Um,
I mean, that's
If you want to
possible.
settle down, I mean, we all know your preferences. It's fine if you wish to settle down and rule Daggerford alongside a potential friend. I mean,
No, please, Afra, if you're willing to do this, this could be tremendous.
And I'm just gonna be like, but she's so insipid and nice. I don't like nice
sure you
girls.
could corrupt her
And
and no.
I'm gonna look at Jenna.
She
I don't
also
like
has
nice
a devil
girls.
as a pet, Afra.
Afra, if you wish to stay here,
No.
All
we,
right.
we totally
It's
understand.
it's it's gonna be hard enough to pretend to be BFFs with her, is all I'm saying. Don't ask me for more.
All right. Let's buy some more time. We'll have Ida come, see if it's a good pairing. But before any of that, I guess I should go speak with her.
Yes, let's speak with.
All right. So you go in. She looks up and she sees everybody come into the room. Now, she's she sees Gellin. She sees them eyebrows, that bad boy scar. She sees that mullet that was super popular 35 years ago. And you do see a few tiny heart bubbles kind of pop out. After you see a lot of heart bubbles pop out. This woman has only had herself for 35 years, if you know what I mean. So, yeah.
I
And
don't get it.
Gellin walks into the room and he kind of tosses that mullet, slow motion, and says, "My lady, it's good to finally meet you, the real you." And he extends a hand to grab her hand in the old-timey 35 years ago custom, where it wasn't considered super, sexist to kiss a woman's hand kind of deal. Nowadays, everybody just forearm to forearm handshakes. She has not been okay with anybody approaching her physically, but she does offer her hand up to his, and he give it a gentle kiss, and her whole face flushes. And he says,
I'll
"Oh,
conspiratorially wink at her.
okay."
Like, you go, girl.
Yeah, she blushes harder at that. So Gellin basically says, "These are my great friends and allies who I sent to Daggerford because I was suspicious that not everything was as it seems. I am pleased beyond all measure that they were able to rescue you and restore you to your proper place of power. In your absence," and then he fills her in on all the shit that the succubus has been up to. And furthermore, she had visions of expansion, and the target of those ambitions was my humble city of Saltmarsh. It would be the greatest gift that you could give to me and my allies if you could work towards the continuing independence of Saltmarsh. And it could be incredibly valuable to Daggerford and Saltmarsh if we were to work closely together. And he reaches out and grabs her hand and squeezes it. We could forge a bright and beautiful future together that respects the independence of both civic states. I have a very good friend, possibly my best friend in the whole world. She is a elderly woman, and he kind of side-eyes Afra when he says that. But she is sharp and quick and funny, and she is well versed in the politics of this region. I would very much like for you to meet her, that she can counsel you as you move forward and reacclimate yourself to the real world and the role that you must play. You have a boon here. This terrible disease that was spread by a vile Shulton artifact sent to you by a rival. Which, by the way, anybody have a good rival that we could blame it on that we need to remove from power? This would be an excellent opportunity to just get rid of some people. We'll figure that out later. It just occurred to me, and when I have a good idea, I just have to spit it out. Where was I? Oh, right. So this is a life-changing event, and first of all, you can explain away your incredibly young looks and beauty as a side effect of whatever magical healing you received. And then, secondly, we can say that that near-death experience and the death of so many you cared about shocked you into a change in lifestyle. So if there's anything about the previous Lady Daggerford's, let's just say, eccentricities that you would like to distance yourself from, here is your opportunity to do so. And she kind of looks at him, like nodding, and he's like, "I'm mostly talking about the orgies. If you don't want people to think that you're mad crazy about orgies, this would be a good chance to kind of distance yourself from that." And she just kind of keeps staring at him. He's like, "Or if that's your thing, then then that could also be fine. All right. So, what say you, the true Duchess of Daggerford?" And she looks to all of you, and then her eyes go to Jenna, her savior. Do you say or do anything? Do you give any meaningful looks?
Yeah, Jenna like nods approvingly, like this is definitely what's best.
Okay. Then she says, yes, I will do what I can to continue to keep the region prosperous, and I will do whatever I can. I swear by the gods who may be listening and bear witness that in my lifetime I will do everything I can to ensure the freedom of the city of Saltmarsh. And when she says that, you just hear like just this kind of like happy, desperate, like kind of almost like a canine whine of just like like the relief is so pure that this dude is feeling that he almost sort of deflates, like the amount of pressure that he had been carrying around this whole time. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank all of you for this. This is more than I could have ever hoped for. Jenna and the generous crew. I'm sorry, that's what everyone in Saltmarsh is calling you now. If you, yeah, that's not what I would have picked. When all this is over, and he kind of looks over at Daggerford, not sure if he should drop the wife bomb or not, but he just kind of says, your, my wife, would like to speak with you when you return to town. Apparently, she's had dreams about you.
About me. Oh, that's not the news I was hoping for.
And you see Daggerford looks very sad when the wife bomb gets dropped. So, all right.
Yes.
When do we open up the doors of the manor? When do we drop this narrative on the people? 10 days seems long enough that they'll start to panic, start thinking that that whatever disease is in the house is going to spread. I don't know if any of you have read up on the spell plague, but it was a terrible time.
Yeah, I've read of it. It's... Oof. Well, let's wait for Ida to arrive. Let them get accompanied, and then we could break the news.
All right. So like 2 more days pass. Ida shows up. Is introduced to the young lady. She busts out all of her lovely eccentricities on the woman, and honestly, 35 years of loneliness. Parents dying when she was young. No grandparents, to speak of. All sorts of like trust issues and being basically abused, used, and used as a tool for other people's gain. An honest old lady who writes lawful good on her voter's registration card. It's a nice change of pace. So she's definitely, yeah, she's definitely relieved and happy to meet Ida, and you guys get the feeling that Ida, who has raised many children and grandchildren, while also being one of the top leaders of Saltmarsh, and in her lifetime took it from being a small village of smugglers to a prospering small city, is more than suitable for the task of handling the young lady Daggerford. Okay. She goes up to Afra and she says, Alphabet, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
Yep. Yeah, it has. Are you how are you holding up? Like forgetting things?
Never.
Or,
My mind is sharp as a tack. Sharp as a
right.
tack.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we have been dealing with increased Sahaugen attacks off the coast. They're growing bolder by the day. I won't be in Saltmarsh since I'll be staying here. But if you I don't know, if you could take that battleship of yours out, and just blast them out of the water, that would be a huge boon to the town. I tried hiring your crew to sort of just sail up and down the coast and scare them off, but they said that they're too busy. Apparently, they're doing some supply runs. It's very secretive stuff. You guys know that they're just running supplies to and from your island fortress. That's what they're doing. They're not up to any
Yeah.
shenanigans without you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all have business that we need to see to, but I guess we'll take a look at the situation when we get back.
You always impress me as just the sharpest tool in the shed, Alphabet. Your party is very lucky to have someone as smart as you. Why, when I was a girl, I used to think that my mind was a vorpal blade. You remind me a lot of myself. I think when you look at me, Alphabet, you should probably just think that you're looking in a mirror. Huh? I'm you, and you're me.
Oh, God.
Why don't you come in here for a hug, sweetheart? Come on, bring it in. Bring it in. Do you hug her, Afra?
I need to make a constitution check, see if I can keep my shit together.
I'm actually like looking around for Surge.
Lady
Like,
Daggerford, you see
like
the
she
eyes of Lady
understands.
Daggerford on you. She is watching you because if Afra, the wise and intelligent and mysterious woman who works for with Jenna the Generous, is afraid of this old lady, maybe she shouldn't trust this old lady. That's what your inquisitive rogue tells you.
No, I'm gonna I'm gonna tolerate the hug.
Okay. She smells like mothballs, fish, and Werther's Originals.
If she pinches my cheek, I will stab her with Surge.
She doesn't, but she does pat your tiny head. She does pat your tiny head. So, that's it. There you go. That's right. All right. Getting so emotional. This is going to be a nice vacation, though. You know, finally getting away from those goddamn grandkids. I just feel like you can't do anything. You know, we had an indoor bathroom installed finally. I was taking my first shit in the new bathroom. Finally not having to go out in the outhouse. All these years, and I finally get to take a shit inside, right? And I tell you what, 30 seconds after getting my britches down, those little shits are banging on the door. Granny! Granny! It's like you didn't need me for 2 hours before now, but as soon as Granny sits down to take a shit, you're banging on the door. Ugh.
I'm
My
gonna
dear,
kinda.
you obviously have incredible birthing hips and a beautiful body. You will attract many suitors, but take your time. There is no rush. You're young, and it will also kind of spook people if a 55-year-old woman is pumping out some babies. But fortunately, there's magic. We'll just blame it on that. So if you do decide that you want to have a couple of youngins, know that I can also help you with that. I'm very good at raising children.
I'm gonna sidle up next to Lady Daggerford, and I'm
Mhm.
just gonna be like, she really is good at that sort of thing, I promise. But I think that you may be able to help her as much as she helps you, and I'll
Um,
wink at her.
she nods sagely.
Hmm.
Hmm. And she says, so everyone thinks I'm 55 years old, but I still look hot and no one's questioned that at all? Wasn't that like the biggest red flag?
Yeah, I don't know about those paladins you got outside, but
Yeah, I think
Potions.
they were
Rumors
a
are
little
that you
dumb.
used potions.
Oh, like elixirs of youth.
yeah.
What a
I mean, they're popular.
frivolous use of the town's economy. Well, I will do them the service of allowing myself to age. So that's a thing.
Well done.
Good for you.
All right. Um, I will check on the economic status of Daggerford. If it's doing as well as everyone seems to think, would it be insulting if I sent you a reward to your holdings in Saltmarsh?
I mean, I don't think it would.
I'd
We
be
would
We
be
have-
insulted
honored.
if you didn't.
We have much to do and much we wish to accomplish.
I step on Garuda's foot as he says that.
Then look for that in the coming weeks. Once I have a better idea of our holdings, I'll know what can be spared without seeming too frivolous.
Of course.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all. You've given me back my life and an opportunity to lead a life better than the one I had before.
As for, there's a teleportation circle in your basement. Leave that unhampered. Use the sending stones we will provide with you to let me know, and if you do need us, we could be here rather quickly.
All right. Now she is going to end up going into some negotiations with the Church of Lathander. They both have secrets that they don't want out. Church of Lathander, their first instinct was to destroy the portal, thinking it was a portal straight to hell. But the more monetary minded among them were like, whoa, 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 teleportation circle worth a lot of money. Don't smash that shit. So they've had like 24/7 guards posted while they sort of hired out their own consultation outside of Jenna the Generous to get a feel for it. So the teleportation circle is intact. You could record the circle's patterns so that you could use it at a later date.
I thought Jenna already had done that.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like, if you hadn't, this would be your opportunity to do so. Yep.
Yep, got it for sure.
Okay. All right. If that is the case, you guys receive your other 25,000 from your boy that was promised to you, right? Because the first 25,000 went towards the repairing of your place. Because you did some downtime, that does kick the shops into a new category. So the only shop you currently have access to is the Daggerford one. Let me make sure it's been updated so I could post that for you.
We also may need to roleplay Surge's anger because I'm giving him back to Afra.
Whoa!
Like, what?
What? After that speech you gave him about how you guys were going to work together and everything was going to be great?
I felt bad for him. I was
So
like,
that speech was given before I knew I was allowed to keep the dagger.
Wow.
So that speech was 100% honest at the time it was issued.
In that
Oh,
case,
man.
sort of a happy coincidence because Pietro was going to ask Davy in this. Pietro will at some point take Afra aside and ask her if she will help him tying up the Justin loose end because he was, had considered, well, maybe I could just ask him to, disappear from Faerun and never come back, but that never works out. So.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
you want to disappear his body?
I
That
will
does
say
work
at this point, if you are not killing a sentient person a day with Surge, it will start to withhold its powers. Therefore, every time you go to use it, you are going to have to beat it in a contested charisma check, essentially.
I mean, my original plan was to turn it in to see if we can get a reward for, turning in this thing.
Because this weapon is a single-minded entity with one purpose. That is the collection of souls for She Who Hungers in the Deeps. You guys, through your terrible rolls and cruel behavior, have not allowed this creature to do that. It has killed fucking fish. Okay, it is, and then you pass it around like the dumb, cute girlfriend that everybody shares in high school. Because none of you want to do none of you want to actually deal with his
Not the
issues
village
and his shit.
bicycle.
Yeah. So like it's basically reached its fucking limit. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
like
can't believe you guys.
I 100% like it's like Davian would have happily turned it into the church, but Afra wants it, so
wow.
he's going
I
to.
mean, I could also be talked into turning it into the church.
It definitely
mean-
doesn't want you, Afra. It definitely doesn't want you.
I know.
It hates you.
I'm a terrible.
See, like, do you think they're gonna give you just a reward? These guys that charged you for the raised dead. I mean, like, talk
I mean,
about
we could sell
Lathander.
him. We could sell him.
Oh
Yeah.
faithful quartermasters Joaquin.
I feel like selling him may turn out bad because he may want his new owner to come at us for the way we
Then we'll
treated him.
kill that person
I
and
mean,
take him
like, do
back.
we really think he's gonna find an owner that could challenge us?
How does
You know?
Surge feel about being dismantled and made into a new weapon?
How
Oh,
about
he feels really bad about that. Yeah.
how about we just
He'll for sure get kills. Peruno always get the kill. I mean, come on, Surge. You'll get kills, so
Anyways, Davian is unattuning from Surge, and he's gonna reattune to the dagger. And as far as what
Wow.
they want to do with Surge, considering that there seems to be no consensus,
I'm gonna put in the mirror for now, like, so we can't fucking.
Well, he would
Come at me.
technically be a construct because he's like a
Oh, okay, okay,
so he would he can't be trapped in the mirror. So
Okay, all right. Well,
so either drop him into one of your skirt pouches things, or
those skirt
or-
pouches specifically state what they could hold. Again,
Oh, okay.
please stop trying to rewrite these poor magic items. So,
No, I mean, no, into like the skirt room.
oh, the skirt room, sure. Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
like-
you could totally put it in the skirt room.
I mean, if you guys don't want to get rid of him, we can put him there. But
I mean,
Davian
if he
done
is
with him.
out, he is going to start like a kidnapped child, like calling out to anyone nearby. Like he's just going to start.
In that room, I will come out and be more dangerous than you
This
will be.
is why I'm thinking that
Yep.
the paladins
Lots
are
of
the
idle. Yep.
safest place.
That's
High
what they
charisma
for.
saves. They like super have high saving throws in general. He's clearly evil. We turn him into them, and we are reinforcing our heroic role as people.
we've already enforced our role enough. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this thing's worth a lot. We're not giving it to some fucking goody paladins, that aren't gonna give a shit for it.
What if we were to go to the paladins of Lathander and be like, hypothetically, if we had a sentient weapon, what would I go for if we turned that in?
They're not gonna give us more than 10,000 gold, which is what the faithful quartermasters of Joaquin is gonna give us. So
But the thing is, we don't know what they may offer us in return. They could offer us other things like in trade.
Oh, the living gloves. They do only what's listed. So if it doesn't say the tagline, if you already have proficiency, it grants expertise.
Fair
it just
enough.
does. Yeah, it just does what it says on the box.
Okay,
So.
and then we can sell them. We'll sell the gloves because I'm already proficient in these.
All right, so I updated. This is what Farrell's Fine Jewelry and Apparel currently has in stock. So I linked that in treasure.
Oh, it still has the +2 scimitar.
When you guys are in Daggerford, you are allowed free room and board at any inn or tavern per the Lady of Daggerford's direct orders. There is a scene where some members of the Council of Guilds do outright try to accuse the new Lady Daggerford of being a succubus. One of the accusers, none of the accusers are this fellow though. Those that do try to accuse her are laughed at by the people. Once a succubus is explained to them, they say, she's just got a healthy sexual appetite, and that is totally okay because she is an independent woman, and her body is her choice, and what she does with it is her business. Yeah, and so those people lose a lot of political clout with their false allegations against her. Representatives of the Order of Lathander kind of step forward, never taking their helmets off, even in the bathtub, and they say, obviously, if there was an issue involving demons, fiends, and otherworldly entities of evil, the Cathedral of Lathander, built right outside the manor, would have detected it ages ago and taken care of it. Your accusations make you look like a fool, even in the eyes of the Morning Lord. And as he says that, the clouds part and a beam of sunshine comes down right on the accusers, and everybody looks at them, and then they all just start shaking their heads and murmuring. And the Palabro's like, I don't have anything else to say. Do you? And the accusers are all just like, damn, as they sort of slink away into the crowds. Did you guys have any particular members of the Gilded Councils you wanted to frame as the ones that gave the cursed Chultan artifact to Daggerford? Or do you just let that all sort itself out?
Well, because he kept his mouth shut, I was going to say the Felix guy because somebody went and told him what was up, and that could have been a problem.
Affer, you're more than confident as an inquisitive rogue that he did go and tell people so that they would do that because he knew that they would embarrass themselves.
Mm-hmm.
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 All right. From one inquisitive rogue to another, he tips his embarrassingly weird hat to you and disappears into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I want to find someone in this city that's so like rich people, right? When they're looking to buy some shit or sell some shit that's really valuable, they don't fucking go around like, "Hey, you want to buy this stuff?" They have someone like a broker, right? I want to
Right.
find
That's
someone.
who this feral guy, or he's not feral, but the guy that runs Feral's Goods. He's the local broker for Daggerford.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
I don't run no Pumat Soul shit, right? Like each magic item shop represents all of the available magic items in the region. It's not just like the corner store and this is
Well,
what they have on the
I'm
shelf.
more,
Like, yeah.
I'm more looking for someone shady that can sell Surge to someone that'll buy it for what it's actually worth.
Oh.
Go to like,
Yeah. Do you guys have any
Waterdeep.
do you have any shady contacts like Zentarum, local
Yeah.
crime lord who's in charge of a bunch of smugglers? I don't know. Thieves Guild. Hey, I mean, these are all places that you probably go through to do that. There is a wizard in Saltmarsh, Kelladek. You could go try to sell it to him.
I don't really want
Nah.
to mess with
Yeah,
Kelladek at
Crash, I
all.
gotta
Mm.
get. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
You're
Later,
good.
dude.
Bye.